Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into information governance. We're going to explore how a truly modern approach can help your business transform, shed that old complexity, and get ready for genuine digital excellence.
So let's just start with a really important question for any business leader out there. In a world that's always changing, does your organization feel kind of weighed down by its own processes? Or does it feel agile, ready for whatever comes next? This isn't just a thought exercise. It's probably the most critical question defining your future.
And that contrast really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. It's this journey from a slow, siloed state, the caterpillar, if you will, to one that's connected, agile, and flexible, the butterfly. And this isn't just a cute metaphor. It's the fundamental shift businesses need to make to thrive right now.
Okay, so let's dig into that a little bit. The modern business dilemma. We're going to look at why those traditional, rigid ways of working just aren't cutting it anymore.
Do any of these sound familiar? When an employee leaves, critical knowledge just walks out the door with them. That problem gets even worse when your departments are all working in their own little bubbles, which just slows down any real innovation. And now, with AI becoming a bigger deal, employees can feel insecure, maybe even a little threatened, so they hold on to their exclusive knowledge even tighter. It creates this vicious cycle of inefficiency and risk, all while you're getting hit with a flood of new regulations. That's what being the weighed down caterpillar feels like.
So how do we start to solve these problems? Well, it begins by understanding information governance, not as a buzzword, but as a core business strategy.
If we look at the official definition, the international standard ISO 24143 gives us a really solid, credible starting point. It calls information governance a strategic framework for managing your information to support business outcomes and handle risk. So in plain English, it's about having control and direction at the highest level. But a formal definition is just that, a start. We see it as something more, alive, a living human-centric framework. See, it's not about forcing more rigid rules on people. It's about connecting your people, your processes, and your technology to turn all that information from a potential risk into your company's most valuable asset.
And this brings us to the idea of an agile transformation. This isn't about launching another huge, complex project. It's a completely new way of thinking about change itself. This is so important. A lot of companies make the mistake of just digitizing the processes they already have. But if those processes are broken to begin with, all you end up with is a faster way of doing the wrong thing. Real transformation, that requires a totally different mindset.
The agile way forward avoids those huge, high-risk projects. First, you start with culture. You build a small team with your own experts from different departments. Then, you take small steps. You launch a pilot project, a minimum viable product, not some massive overhaul. And finally, you learn and adapt. You use simple checklists and learn as you go, building momentum and trust. This way, you're delivering value at every single stage.
And the whole idea is summed up perfectly in this quote from George Westerman. When you digitize a caterpillar, you get a faster caterpillar, not a butterfly. The goal isn't just about being faster, it's about a complete metamorphosis. We're really aiming for that butterfly.
All right, let's talk about the payoff, the value of excellence. What does this kind of transformation actually deliver? Because the value here goes way beyond just the bottom line. It affects the entire health of your organization.
We see this journey delivering value in 5 really key areas. It creates a complete business case that's much bigger than just ROI. Of course, it includes profit and security, but it also boosts your reputation. And just as critically, it brings comfort and fosters joy. These cultural elements are absolutely essential for long-term growth.
And this is all very practical. Profit grows because you've built a solid foundation for new tech and new business. Security comes from making compliance and data protection easier, minimizing risk. Your reputation gets a boost because you're seen as a reliable partner. You get comfort from the clarity and support of a companion for the journey. And you create joy, an empowered, resilient culture where your people can truly thrive, making them more productive and innovative. So this brings us to the final part. Your journey begins here. This whole thing is a guided process, a metamorphosis. And like any great journey, it all starts with one manageable first step. Look,
The transformation from that caterpillar, weighed down and stuck, into an agile, dynamic butterfly isn't going to happen overnight. But it all starts with this simple decision to begin. So, the real question is, are you ready to take that first step?
Thank you for joining us for this explainer. If you're ready to start turning your information into a real strategic advantage, the conversation begins right here. We're Thinking Services Ltd., your companion for digital excellence. To start a non-binding conversation, just get in touch with us at orangebutterfly.digital.